Boom. All right. So today we're going to be starting off with our major markets. All right. So those are the ones that we usually look out for. You know me, I usually do three. And if there's any other requests that you want me to add on there, so if there's any other market that you want me to analyze, we can do so towards the end of the session. Right. Perhaps NZD, USD, Euro, JPY, whatever markets that you guys trade. But for me, it's just basically three markets, much more focused and consistent with the way I do things. Right, so we're looking at the GBP USD on the daily time frame. If you remember, we highlighted the area between 2850 and 2900, which of course the price is looking at bouncing right now. We must remember tomorrow is Brexit 2.0. Right, so we're basically having a vote there. Um, so I might be a bit skeptical to actually trade anything that is pound related during the course of this week. So I'd much rather you stick with other markets. But for me personally, my outlook as I've done so, you can see the market rejected quite nicely at that 2900 level that we looked at, and therefore I was anticipating a bit of a drop to the downside because the trend is predominantly still down. I look at the pound towards probably about $1.20. Okay, $1.20 at those lows. I think that was 2016 low around August, November. So I'm definitely looking at those areas as an area of interest for me, right? So if you look at the 4-hour time frame, we have a nice 200 EMA coming through, right? This is the 800 rather. Okay, if you guys remember, this is where we actually drew. We wanted the market to come through, and it seems like the market is following that projection. However, obviously anything can happen once the market hits that intended target that we had. Okay, so for me, I'd definitely be looking at short opportunities, probably around 2950, and trading the range between 2900 and 2850 even. Okay. Right, so that is my outlook for the remainder of the week on the GBP USD. You can see a nice pop outside just above Friday's high. Well, bit of a distance above Friday's high. And so I'd be expecting a bit of retracement back into this particular range. Okay, now looking at the Euro USD. Okay, Euro USD, can't quite remember what our outlook was, but I do know that we're looking at it on a long-term scale at a short on the euro dollar. And we have had a bit of a sideways consolidation for quite a few weeks, really, and it hasn't done much. If we look at the, okay, let's go to the daily next. Okay, the market is trading within that range. Okay, let's just give this a few seconds just to update. Okay, connection isn't the best today, so getting a bit of a delayed feed. Okay, we can go up to our weekly, right? So our weekly, you can see we anticipated, well, we're still looking at a 103850 target, and we had a nice retracement or a nice pullback into that 2250 and 2600 range, and the market was tagged on the 800 EMA there. So we're looking at a downward spiral from there. On the 4-hour time frame, looking at the 4-hour time frame, we can see a bit of a breakout on the upside, okay, which may make a lot of people skeptical. However, you can see a bit of a nice pullback into that range as well. Okay, market pullback immediately after breaking that $15 handle. Well, it did reach 15.50 even, but that $15 even level, it did actually break quite nicely. And from there, we're still back within that range that was actually set, I think, during, we did say the low of November last year, and that high of, it's also November. Yeah, I think low of November high, and then basically just keeps ranging and not really trending within that. So, but for me, we're still predominantly downside momentum. Okay, this could be seen as a possible pullback. Okay, this swing high through to the swing low, right? So we take swing high through to swing low, boom. You can see the market retrace quite nicely. Tag that 50 to 60% Fibonacci retracement level. Okay, also tagged the 800 EMA. So I'm looking at a bit of a downward spiral from there on out. Okay. All right. No questions. All right. Okay, let's move along quite swiftly. And we're looking finally from my market for the USDJPY. Right. So guys, remember it has been in a bit of a triangle. It has been just moving sideways. Let's just wait for the price to update because we're still in November here. Okay. Okay, if you guys remember this, drop bit of a doji type candle, and this one that actually followed afterwards. Okay, hopefully. Right, I think it's updated now. Okay, so on the H4, you can see that the market did break that sort of like triangle that we actually had there. Okay, I hate calling it a triangle. But the market quickly moved back in again, right? So you can see the market quickly moved back in, right? So I'm drawing this a bit wrong. Okay, got it here. And the market moved back inside quite swiftly so. And for me, after seeing this, boom, my outlook became, all right, we could see a possible continuation move to the downside, but we definitely need to see a bit of a retracement in order for us to actually participate in the movement. So from this swing high through to the swing low here, which was a spike from last month, I think, yeah. Okay, from that particular level through to the 50, 62% Fibonacci retracement, you're looking at 110, right? $10 or $9.50. That is where we're looking at the market to retrace back into. So I'm still anticipating a bit of an upside movement and then a tag of one of the EMAs, probably the 200 EMA in this scenario, and then a continuation move to the downside. Okay. But for me, obviously, I did mention that looking at the USDJPY right now is very difficult because it's in sort of like a retreat contracted type movement. Okay, so it could either go long term down or it could go long term up. Right. But hopefully this week will prove to be somewhat of a breakout within these ranges that is actually set, and we'll see some nice movement to one direction or another. Okay, guys are with me. All right. Any questions, guys? Questions? Okay. All right. So if you guys don't have any questions, what I will do is end off the session right here, right now. Okay. If you do have any questions, you can just post them on the Telegram channel or send them through to me directly. We are going to have our normal session tomorrow, 8:30 p.m. Okay. Just make sure you guys have caught up with all the trading plans, so we can get started and sorted with those before the beginning of the trading week, which for me technically is going to be tomorrow. So let's call it a night. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of the evening, and let's make it tomorrow, guys. Cheers.